Welcome to the Watering Hole. We're sitting down today with Muscadine Bloodline in Oklahoma City. How you guys doing today?
Dude, we're awesome, man. It's another day in the life, brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We got to give a shout out to our boy Matt Burrell for helping us.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We talked to him at Calf Ride because they went down there this year too, and we go there every year since we're out of Stillwater.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I used to do merch for Muscadine."
He
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Man.
Yeah. So what was it like being with Matt on the road, like having him sling your merch?
I mean,
Matt's a good vibe, dude. He's the life of the party.
he's never like in a bad mood, and like just how he talks, that New York thing he's got going on.
Yeah, he's got a real thick like New
Oh, yeah,
York
he's
He's an
Jersey
extremely
accent.
optimistic guy.
Yes.
He sees the good in
And-
everything, which
Oh.
is good to have on the road.
He's a great salesman, so
Yeah.
He is. He
Yeah,
is.
for sure.
yeah, we loved having him out.
So I see the golf hat on. Are you guys both golfers? Just
No,
just
just
you?
me.
Okay. How often do you try to play golf when you're out on the road?
Honestly, not as much as you would think on the road. Like when we're on our own tours, like you'd be surprised we don't have as much time as you would think. Like, and in the mornings would be the only time, and I'd rather sleep. So
Yeah.
But when we're on like a different, like when we were on the Post Malone tour, it's like you're just sitting around all day. It's not your tour. You have a lot more time to you're sitting there all day waiting to sound check, and then you're sitting there all day again to play. So then it's like there's a little more time on stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't really play that often.
He's got to cross off a few bucket list ones though. As
Oh
we go
yeah,
on the road.
no. If we're in like a sick place and like it's like a bucket loop, like if we're like one time we were in California and we were near like Torrey Pines and I flew in a day early just because I was like, well, I want to knock this off. You know,
Yeah.
all the guys were flying in like the very next day, the next morning. So I was like, I'm just gonna go early and play.
What's your handicap?
6.5.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
dude.
he's pretty.
Yeah, dude.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm good enough to gamble. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you started what 2020?
2020.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was his first round.
Wow. I think I started around the same time, and I still haven't broke 100. So you can see how it's
Hey.
going for me.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, dude, it's all about just having fun. Like I've played golf with plenty of guys that are good and no good or whatever, and you know a lot of guys, if they're not good, they'll be on the tee box like teeing off, and they'll like look over at me and they're like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, and I'm like, what are you sorry? Dude, just play. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just here to play, man. I don't care what you shoot, and you shouldn't care what I shoot. Just enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
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 So where'd you guys roll in from last night?
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
So is that where you guys live now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So what's it like going from Alabama to Nashville?
Man, I mean, I can't hardly, besides like the informative years of high school and stuff, like it's been 10 years. Like we've lived in Nashville for
Yeah.
10 years now. So we still claim Mobile as home, but I mean, yeah, I mean, stark difference for sure. You know, Mobile's not a small city, but it's not a Nashville. But just being in the thick of everything music, and you know, there's so many players that move here, you know, to chase whatever, be a part of a touring band, and a lot of times we'll go into like rehearsals and stuff, and I'll be like, you know, stressed about it. I'm like, oh, I forgot, like all these guys are professionals, so it's like
That is
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, it's just the pool is so much different, and I mean, for touring's sake, it's kind of in the center of where we tour. So Mobile is far from everything, there's no going south from there.
Yeah.
Except if you want to go to Cuba or something. But
It's like 8 hours,
yeah, everywhere.
10 hours. But you know, you're in the middle of most of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does, for that sake only, really, for us now. Like there was a time where, you know, we were writing at a publishing company in town, but we don't really do much in town outside of like our little team. It's just like a nice hub to tour out of,
yeah.
and
then
you know,
it's so convenient for Gary
Yeah.
and I to be
Yeah.
there,
Yeah,
being
our-
in a duo, you know.
managers are here, you know, whoever we do content with is here. Like
Yeah.
everybody is here. So it just makes it, you know, you're 30 minutes away from everybody instead of, you know, flying somebody into Mobile to get something.
And we joke about that all the time too. It's like, do I actually want to live in Nashville? It's like, I don't know. I don't really know the answer, but it's too convenient not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I do like it there. Like I like Tennessee. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool state.
Yeah, great state.
Yeah.
So I did see a couple days ago, I think it was like your 10-year milestone.
Congratulations, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, man.
So can you kind of run us through how you guys came to be the duo that you are? Like, where did it all begin?
How long you got, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. So, I'll try not to condense it too much, but it's like So Gary and I are both from the same hometown of Mobile, Alabama. And we both, grew up singing and we were lucky enough to get a guitar as a gift from, and we were good enough to figure out how to play some chords and play some cover songs. And so, back in the day, people were there was no TikTok and there wasn't even Instagram back in like 2007 or whatever. So we were putting videos up on Facebook, just like little clips, cover songs here and there. And so like, that's how I like my first memory of Gary was like seeing a video of him on that, like being like, oh, he's from Mobile, whatever. And so I went off to college. I went to Auburn and started my own little cover band up there just to make money. And we would do a hometown show back home because, all our friends from high school went to Bama or Auburn. And so it's like, oh, what a better time when everyone's home for Christmas to play a show. So like 100 people will come out, and just all your buddies. And I think like the owner of the club or somebody was like, there's this local guy named Gary. Like, you should get him too because he's got friends in town too. So it's like the more the merrier. And so that was initially how we got connected was for that. Like
we met that night.
Yeah. And so I think I probably like texted him or something, was like, hey man, like come open the show. Like there's no money involved. Just come have fun with us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And so that's where we initially met. And then after that, I mean, we really didn't, we kept up, we kept in touch, but we weren't like tight or anything yet. We just kind of were good acquaintances. And I remember Gary put out like a little project of his own, like a little Gary Stanton entitled like EP. And I remember thinking like, man, like I want to do something like that too, and I had written a few songs in my life, some pretty shitty songs, and I'd never co-written with anybody. And I just kind of realized or figured out that was a thing. And so I hit up Gary and I was like, hey man, like what, if you're free, like come to Auburn and like, let's try this co-writing thing. Cause I knew he was the only other guy I knew that wrote songs. So he came up to Auburn with me, stayed with me for the weekend, and we wrote a couple of songs, and I had gigs that weekend in Auburn. And I was like, well, dude, while you're here, like, let's drink for free and just go play music. Like I got this gig, like come play, don't play, whatever you want to do, come up. So Gary comes up and he knows all the songs I know. He's like picking around on the guitar, like filling in, doing these little solos or whatever. And then he'd be like, I'll play one too. And I'm like, cool. So I would sing harmony to him and blah, blah, blah. And we initially felt like from the audience, like they were like, what's y'all's band name? Like, what are y'all? Like, what do y'all call yourselves? And we were like, we're not even in a band. We're just friends or whatever. And so I think that was kind of the initial spark of like, oh, like we sound good together. Like it wasn't even a spark of like, oh, we could work together. It was just, oh, this is fun. Like I would do this again, And so we basically did, like we just kept doing it together. Like he went home that weekend and I remember he had some gigs and was like, hey, why don't you come down and play these gigs with me, or whatever. We'll write some more songs. And I was like, okay, cool. And we did that for long enough. I mean, I feel like we did it for like a year and a half or something like that.
About like that, yeah.
And then Gary moved to Nashville in May, and I was still on the fence about moving to Nashville. And I remember my roommate was like, dude, you need to go up there. Like you need to go with Gary and like do this thing. One of my best friends, JD. And I was like, man, I just don't know. Like, he's like, what was coming out of Nashville at that time? Like I wasn't like super into. Mm-hmm. And he was like, dude, you just need to go like try this thing with Gary. Like you need to try it. And I moved up 3 months later and we moved into the same room. And shortly after that, like in December, I moved up in October, and then December we announced our name.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow.
And then that was I guess the end of 15. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's an awesome story.
So where did the band name come from?
God, I wish we had something cooler. But
some interstate sign somewhere.
yeah,
I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, we kind of like gallivanting around Alabama, Mississippi, playing gigs. You just be like, what about this? No, not that. And so and then like after a while, we're like somehow we were like Charlie and I, ironically. Like you said, like we knew a lot of the same stuff, and I was the same. Like we weren't like really in tune with like the new stuff out of Nashville. Like we were both, honestly, a lot of like the red dirt circuit was a lot of what we like the old like for roller coaster Randy Rogers and like Josh Abbott,
Wade
like
Bowens of
that,
the world,
and so like we kind of had that in common. And so that being said, like the Turnpike Troubadours were one of our favorite bands, still are. Yeah. And it's cool. Like now it's like we've done a song with like Kyle's been on one of the songs and we've got to tour with those guys. And so it has been really full circle thing, but we just liked the idea of a band name instead of just like, I don't know, like there's like a stigma. Duos are kind of corny. Like there's not many cool ones since Brooks and Dunn, if I'm being honest. And
we get like duos get like a bad rep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we are a duo, but like we try to function as a band. Like Charlie and I definitely are the band or the brand, but like the band plays a very intricate part in like the thing that we do. And so I don't know, we just liked bands and wanted to come up with a name that was like a two like word name that kind of like didn't necessarily rhyme, but it felt like it rolled off the tongue kind of good. Like
I mean, like Turnpike Troubadours.
Like Turnpike Troubadours.
We were heavily
Flatland
inspired.
Cavalry. Like it's like, okay, cool. It's like, and those guys were, just getting started too, and we were in tune with those guys. And so it was just like, man, let's start this band. And we just, that was the name. And we talked about it like 6 months ago, and we were like, man, like, do you still like this name? And I was like, it's like, obviously, clearly, we're too far gone to change it at this point. But honestly, we were like, I kind of dig it. Like, it's still cool.
I do remember when we named the band. It's like, and I don't have children, but it's like the closest thing I can relate to it, where it's like you're careful about who you tell your name to, or your kid's future name to, because it's like you'll feel this weird like and we felt it from like certain people. We were like, we're gonna name it this, and like people were like I had a couple people in my life that were like, really, like you should just call it like Muscadine or something like that, or and I was like, no, dude, like I like it, like we're just gonna do it.
Well, the good thing about it is that you can it's a full name, but you can shorten it.
Yeah. That happens. Like people
like
call us the Muscadine Boys or whatever.
Muscadine MB.
Yeah, I'm going to the Muscadine show.
Bloodline. And too, I mean, I think there was a little bit of like at the time it was just like the name of an artist, and so we were thinking of it like imagine being on a festival or like a show that has like a bill of 5 bands or 5 artists, and then like what would be the most interesting looking one? And if it was John whoever, Tyler whoever, insert Matthew whatever, it's like Muscadine Bloodline. It's like, okay, I don't know what that is. Could be a metal band, could be
Hey, you should see what happens to us when we walk through the airport. We'll be like dragging cases that say Muscadine Bloodline, and if people don't know what it is, like they're like because how those SKB, they look like gun cases. And so people will be looking at us funny. Like, they just see the word Bloodline and they're like, what's happening here?
A couple of mercenaries.
Can we run these guys through security?
Yeah.
Like, we need to check their bag twice.
Another cool thing about the name, you were bringing up like Turnpike Troubadours, and then you also had like Flatland Cavalry.
Yeah.
They always tie into somewhere like where they're from, and you guys do the same thing with your name as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
we definitely wanted it to be like representative of Alabama because. Well, I mean, the initial thought, we never knew, like, we were going to play outside of Alabama. So it's just kind of like, we were just like, well, we got to name this something if we're going to play together. We can't just be Gary and Charlie.
Which we were for a while. Like,
we
were making up flyers. It would be like, Charlie Muncaster and Gary Santon, like, Charlie and Gary.
I think you guys are our first, we were talking about this on the way down. I was trying to think of someone else. I think you guys are our first duo we've had on the show.
Yeah.
There ain't many of us, man.
Like, especially on like the red dirt circuit. Like I don't think there's any.
The last one I remember was that Shotgun Rider. You remember those guys?
Oh yeah.
And they were killer. Bro.
Yeah,
I don't ever knew why they broke up or whatever. But
there's just not many of them. So it's kind of a cheat code because like we get grouped into the category, and then people are like, Muscadine's our favorite duo, and we're like, we'll take it.
It's like there's not many of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they had to nominate us for ACM, and we had no business being there. There's just not enough of them to nominate.
Like, thanks, boys.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think I was thinking about this since we're from Oklahoma and we started in Oklahoma. We've interviewed more Oklahoma artists than anything else, and then Texas is number 2. I think Alabama's number 3.
Yeah.
Really?
So because we've had now you guys, Red Clay, Them Dirty Roses, Drayton Farley, Taylor Honeycutt.
Yeah.
So
there's something happening in Alabama.
Exactly,
right now.
and
that's what they all say.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
That's exactly what they all say.
And we feel it also being here and seeing you guys come through. It's like the sounds are very similar for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there is like a root from there, but at the same time, like I think it's cool that like we're playing with the Red Clay Strays, and we're all from Mobile. We know those guys, and we're getting to play an amphitheater with them. That like it was like the wharf was like your Madison Square Garden if you're from the Gulf Coast area of Alabama.
Right.
But it's just been really cool to kind of see this kind of group come around. And I'm not gonna say we're sitting here like we're all best friends because like we all live in different places. But it is cool. Like everyone kind of champions each other, and there's a lot of that out here too. That's why I love the fact of like like the panhandlers or like all these guys like Wade and Randy would always do like the projects together and that sort of thing. And
it's like Texas takes care of each other. Same with Oklahoma, and like it's like they like just take care of their own.
But I will say like there's been like this weird like we've I don't even want to call it like the Alabama sound because I really couldn't tell you what that is. It's very
plug Taylor Honeycutt.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And so yeah, exactly. And like we're working with Taylor on her new record, and so
really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and so
I think she told us that.
I think so.
Yeah, and so like and we got a song together on there.
Gary's producing the record,
and
that's awesome.
And then Charlie and I like me, her, and Taylor and our producer Ryan and a couple guys, and so we pretty much like co-wrote the whole record together. So it was really cool to like
it's a pretty fun record.
Do get into someone else's brain, especially like a female. Like, you kind of like look at the writing aspect differently. But what I was about to say is like the Red Dirt circuit has really adopted the Alabama artist, a lot of them. And so it's like we are on festivals. And quite frankly, like for a long time, a lot of people thought we were from Texas just because of the rooms we were playing the small rooms in Texas, the small rooms in Oklahoma. We weren't just popping into Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Austin and getting out. It's like, no, you're going to San Marcos, you're going to Bonita Creek, and it's like all these like small little rooms that are strictly like the Red Dirt circuit. So I feel like a lot of these Alabama artists are doing that, and it's been cool to have like different artists like intro us into these places. Like we were with Co Wetzel a lot in the early days, and he came to the Southeast, and I see that with like Taylor and Silverado, and it's like it's really cool. Even like American Aquarium out of North Carolina, they got adopted by the Turnpike Troubadours over here, and it's like
same thing. People think he's from Texas,
right? And so it's like, and I don't like the best. I'm not even saying this because y'all are from Oklahoma, but the best fans are out here. Like y'all love live music.
Y'all love upcomers.
And then like there's a lot of artists here that you can tour Texas, Oklahoma, this circuit all year long. There's so many places to play if you really want to.
Yeah.
And so
you can make a living just being here.
Yeah. I mean, because in the early days for us, it was really just like the Texas Red Dirt circuit in the Southeast, and then it wasn't until like probably 4 years ago we started playing. I remember like 2 years ago we went to the West Coast for the first time, and then we were just like, dang, I didn't know this many people cared out here.
Yeah.
And
and then you'll have your like you were saying, like adopting like these acts that come in, like even Tyler Halverson, who's opened up for you guys. He's from South Dakota.
Yeah, South Dakota.
And I see him playing all the time around here.
Oh yeah,
all the time. And the same thing with like the Lowdown Drifters. They're from like Washington.
Yep.
And they made it down here. I think they live down in Texas.
Well, I'm sure they feel the same thing, man. Where they're like, these fans really care, and like, I love fans that care. You know, who doesn't?
I mean, Tyler. Ironically, he's we've been buddies with Tyler for a long time, and it's he even moved to Texas for a little bit just because he's like, man, I'm playing out here so much. It's like and they've really adopted him out here. Yeah. So it's really been awesome to see.
Yeah, for sure.
I think in that same vein of like you could play around here and make a living just doing this. There's a lot of like Josh Moy, for example, from Oklahoma, played around here a lot, but now it's kind of hard to catch Josh in Oklahoma because he's out doing other things. But the second he comes back, it's 2 nights sold out. 2 nights sold out.
Well, I think that's kind of the there's this weird thing that happened in Texas years ago, and like from the outside looking in, at least this is the story I've built in my head. Where it's like, I remember the Joshes and the Wades and like all these guys, and they were so big in Texas, and everybody, and they wanted to be big everywhere else as well. And it's like who doesn't? And they kind of like went off and did their thing. And it's like, I think that they just realized that like, I don't want to be just a Texas artist, like I don't want to, like similarly to how I don't want to be just an Alabama artist. It's like same with Co, like he had a huge career going on in Texas before he even started to branch out of Texas, and so it's like, I think that's what it is. Josh could come play Texas anytime he wanted to, but he's like, you gotta go other places to grow other places. So
And I think too, that I think it was just the times of like Spotify was just coming out kind of when we kind of first started, and so now you can actively find what you're into instead of like because like we had to find Texas country. It wasn't like easy discovering Stoney LaRue or any of these guys because it's not.
I had to find that stuff on Pandora.
Same with
Seriously,
me. And so, but nowadays it's like you can find whatever you're into, and so now the access to all these artists, and I think that kind of sucked for like guys like Randy Wade and all these guys in the early days because they didn't have what we have now, and so but they've amassed this huge thing, here.
And adapted, too,
Right.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Josh briefly there. How did that connection come about? You guys have a song with Josh, or Josh has a song with you,
Yep.
rather.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of walk us through that, how that meeting came about.
Well, Josh came and opened a show for us in Iowa, and like we were just fans. Like we were like, I haven't met him, but we needed an opener, and
Like, this
it was
dude's
like
dope.
there was like a really good budget for an opener, and that's the hard part because like you want to like bring somebody out where the money's not good. Just be like, hey, come open for us, and you're not gonna make anything, like whatever. And so it was good enough, and we are like, yeah, come out, dude. We'd love to hang, and then me and him just started writing over Zoom. Like he lives in Oklahoma, and we wrote "Ain't for Sale," and then we're like, dude, we ought to just put this song out together. And then he came to Nashville, and we cut the song with the band, and he came and sang on it. And it's really not more deeper than that. And like we're pretty like minded in like how we view
And
the
very small
industry.
teams. And
And so
it's easy to get things done with acts like that.
Yeah.
right. And so and dude, he's just a good guy, good hang.
Yeah.
We didn't have to have his people talk to your people.
No, we could cut through all that red tape, man.
Josh is pretty much his people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a smaller team than we got.
Yeah, ours is pretty small.
We've learned that. We've been trying to nail down Josh for a while, and it's been like he had like I think mouth surgery a while back. He's like I really want to do it. He said, I'm fixing to have mouth surgery. I'll hit you up later.
Yeah.
And then he hit us up later. It's like we've been just missing
Back
each
and
other.
forth, yeah.
And apparently we're supposed to go out to this place in
Hennessy.
Hennessy, yeah, which is just like 30 minutes like west of Stillwater.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of Joe Stam?
Gosh, I think that sounds familiar, but I'm not. I can't
Okay.
put a face to it right now.
Well, there's a long story short. There's a big like joke between Joe Stam and Josh Malloy, and Josh has Porch Light, and Joe does this like character called Josh McPloy, and he has a song called Porch Fight.
That's
So he's
hilarious.
always like trolling Josh on social media.
I have
They
not
go
seen
back and
that.
forth
Oh, I gotta
all
look
day.
this
That's
up. That
hilarious.
sounds awesome.
Hilarious.
We when we interviewed Joe Stam, we both dressed up as Josh McRoy and what was it?
I don't remember the other.
Josh Majoy or
Yeah.
something like that. We got wigs and put out like the curly wigs.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It was pretty good.
That's
That is
funny.
One. So who are you guys listening to when you get in your cars and you're back home? First of all, are you Spotify users, Apple Music, Pandora, maybe?
Honestly, I mean, I'm mostly a Spotify user.
Me too.
I like their interface the best, but Apple Music is louder. Like it does sound like better, which is really weird. My wife uses Apple Music. I use Spotify, but
Spotify was just the first one, and that's what I use. And I'm just kind of like I don't even update my cell phone. I'm not like I just don't like. It's just like what I use. It's easy. But no, listening right now.
dude, I've been ripping some Bob Dylan lately.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I watched that movie
Yeah.
on the plane. I was in Italy a couple weeks ago, and on the way home, I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie, and it like I was just like, I don't know, it was a really cool flick, and I was like, dude, I need to like really dive into Bob Dylan because I never really took a lot of time to, and I was like, this is pretty cool, and it's cool to see with Spotify, you like people sound like artists that sound like, and you go down these avenues of artists you never heard, and you're like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a real like songwriter kick of like I knew about him, but like it's funny, kind of like we've all known about Bob Dylan, right? I went through the same thing after I watched that. I'd kind of written off Bob Dylan because I'm like, his voice really isn't my thing, and like,
Yeah.
and he's so big, and I'm kind of like so anti. Like if the band's already big, like
Yeah.
they don't need
Yeah,
me.
I want to find like a new
It's like-
band.
You,
It's like-
you
it's
want to
not-
be on the underground,
Right,
with
it's not
somebody,
cool.
yeah.
Like it's like the Beatles are sick, right? But it's like it's not like, oh, cool, you like the Beatles? Who freaking
Yeah,
does?
everyone does. You like
But-
steaks too?
Yeah. So, but I just discovered Terry Allen out of Lubbock, Texas. I mean, he's an old songwriter from like the 70s. And man, I've just been burning it down. I discovered it through Ryan Bingham. He did like this short series called like I think it was like the Midnight Hour, and then it's like Terry Allen. Like I've heard this like mentioned in a John Bauman song, or is it Bauman?
I think it's Bauman.
It's John Bauman.
I think.
Okay.
I've never. We haven't
We're
got a chance.
Sorry, John, if
John,
you hear
yeah.
this for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
I think
Bowman
it's
Bauman,
Bauman.
whatever. He's sick. We love his records too. But he like mentioned Terry Allen like in a song, and then I was like, oh, that's that song John was talking. And then and I just discovered his music, and it like rocked my world,
Yeah.
and it just was really inspiring because like I think we're kind of getting to the. I'm kind of like I'm privy to like what's happening in the industry, who's coming up, but like I kind of just write off new stuff. That's just it's for better or for worse. I'm at the part of my life where I like what I like, and now it's just now that I've established what I like, I find myself gravitating towards this artist has something that I already like. I just haven't discovered it, and so I'm kind of retroactively finding older stuff that like I'd never really listened to, and then now I'm finding so much inspiration from something from the 70s or the 80s or something like that, and then it's like I don't know, it's just like stuff's been around, but it just found me when I needed to find it, I guess.
Yeah, that's always my favorite. Whenever like an artist has like a big song and like you listen to it, like you hear it like when you're like at a bar or something, like man, I really like the song. Then you go in and like dive deep into the stuff that like most people don't know by them.
Yeah,
and it's like their catalogs is so good. Like
Yeah.
I mentioned all, but Red Cheyenne, I love all of his music, and that's how I started with him. Is like I like 303 or like one of his bigger songs, and then I listened to the rest of his albums. I'm like, wow, this is.
I like doing that too. Like even with artists that are already huge. Like Bob Dylan's a good example, but it's like the other day I saw that like Shooter, they were putting out this new like Waylon thing, and I was like, man, like obviously I knows like Waylon's like big tunes, but I had like a long drive, and I was like, I'm about to just shuffle Waylon Jennings and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you find like it's just cool to hear a bunch like the big deep back catalogs of some of these artists that songs you don't know off the top of your head. You're like, damn, this is cool. Like, that's a fun way to rediscover established acts too. You know what I mean?
How long are you guys giving a song if you hear something like shuffled, song you've never heard? How long are you giving it to make an impression on you before you skip it?
Probably half of it.
Half of it.
Personally, like I'll skip it fairly quickly because I feel like if you hear a verse and a chorus, you kind of understand what's going on at least. But
this is one problem I do have with Spotify, and ironically as a user, is like we have the preconceived notion because you get the top 5 or top 10 songs, and like maybe that top song for us, for example, like one of our top songs is Porch Swing Angel. It's been for 10 years, but like that's not a representation of like what we do now,
like currently.
and so like it's kind of a juxtaposition to be in, because it's like, no, we're on the coastal plains of what was left behind. This is what Teenage Dixie is what Muscadine Bloodline does.
This is the current era.
But so it's like, so there is if I find some artists, I may have like a preconceived notion of like, well, I know this song by them, and like this wasn't my cup of tea, so like I don't know if I like this or not. Which is kind of a shitty place to be.
That's a weird way to like accidentally skew on an artist. I mean, I agree, but we all are guilty of that. Being like, I'm gonna listen to their first 5, and if I don't dig it, then I'm done. Yeah,
like we got like 3 or 4 songs in our top 10 that if you were just to discover Muscadine, that I'm like, man, I hate that this is what you're gonna discover first, because
because this was 10 years ago.
Because if we could go into Spotify and be like, maybe the artist could go in and say, hey, these are the songs that I want on the playlist.
Pick your own.
Yeah, pick my own.
That'd be
top
sick.
10.
That would be awesome.
So where it's like, no, this represents where the band is now or whatever. But like, I don't care. At the end of the day, like if they're going to listen to us and they happen to like Porch Swing Angel or Can't Tell You No or whatever. Exactly. But I'm just like, that was so like 2016 Muscadine. We're totally different people, from that point.
Yeah.
So since you brought it up, where your music is at now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my like scrolling through your catalog, obviously, is Coastal Plain and What's Left Behind. Is that a part 1 and part 2?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a continuation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because obviously, like the album art and everything, it's that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was one thing I wanted to ask. Also, one thing that really impresses me about you guys' style. There's a lot of things, but one thing is, I feel like you guys are one of the most prolific storytelling artists that we've had on. I
Thanks,
feel like
man.
almost every song that I listen to, you guys, it's telling a story in one way or another.
Yeah. I think that comes from like not boxing yourself in, because you have like this another preconceived notion of like an image of who you are, and like, yeah, you know what, I'm not sitting here like waving the flag that, hey, we're outlaw country and whatever, but it's like, if I can create this story that's about like this blood feud or this whatever, and it involves something dangerous and violent, like, I'm just telling a story. We're just the vessel.
You don't have to be true about you,
right?
Like,
And they can be true. It's just like, but you're just the vessel. And so that's kind of one thing I feel like ever since the Teenage Dixie record, we tried to just like establish, like, a lot of the stuff we're writing lately is very like regional to us, and like lived experiences, whether it's just a story about some guy we know or whether it is something that happened to us, but it's like oddly specific. But I don't know, it's just cool to bring people into a world, and sometimes it misses because it's like, man, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's cool because it does bring someone to say, hey, like, I don't know exactly where the Chickasaw Church of Christ is, but or this story, these people, but I've had the same story of like my high school girlfriend's leaving to go to college, wherever she's going, wherever we live. And we used to just meet up in this place in this back parking lot, you know, wherever it is. And so
like that was my Chickasaw Church of Christ.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, that's just been like really fun to bring light to like places that I really know, that Charlie really knows. And it's like, and we're bringing people not, you know, with an idea of like being geo-specific to where we're from to create a better narrative of us.
I think too, the stories got lost like for a while. You know what I mean? Like songs that I grew up listening to in the 90s, it was like part 1 of the story, chorus, part 2 of the story, chorus, part 3 of the story. And I think we reached this strange place in music to where like all the verses were the first chapter of the story, and it just stays, you know, it just is there, and you're like, I don't understand. There's no progression in it. So it's just kind of fun. Like, you know, and Gary's really good at like bringing that out and like inspiring both of us to be like, let's get in that bag, you know what I mean? Like,
And to hone back to what you were saying about being location specific, I think, and we've talked about this before on the podcast with somebody else, I don't remember who, but I think that's one thing that kind of like this red dirt, like Alabama kind of like scene is really, really good at, is throwing in references to like places that, I might not know where that's at, but there's probably people that around like where I'm from that know where it's at, and somebody has a place like that in their life.
Well, I think it reflects authenticity.
Exactly.
I think that's the whole idea, is that like we're talking about a place that we actually know, and people understand that like, they might not know where that is, but they know that what we're saying is true, which is I think why people like that. You know what I mean? Which is I like it. You know?
Yeah, it's like kind of taking it like it's like a literary approach to writing, and like almost like some songs even require like a cinematic approach. It's like we had like Ballad of the Blanton Brothers. It's kind of like it almost feels like it's a 4-minute movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, I mean, it's just so much fun to just kind of like, hey, starting from scratch.
Make this crap up out of whatever.
Right. And so it's like, I remember specifically like when we started writing that, I was like, I called my dad, because like a lot of this is like when you write and stuff, because we haven't lived in Mobile for 10 years or just South Alabama. My parents are from this small town called Monroeville, a couple counties north. And so like for some reason I for a while there, I was just going back there for some reason. I don't know why. I was just romanticizing this place, and so I'd be calling my dad and be like, hey, like who were like some like terrible people that you grew up with? And he's like, oh dude, the Blantons were awful. And so it's like, great, let's
Mr. and Mrs. Blanton, if you're listening to this, sorry.
And so it's like whoever it was, it's like, you know, who's a group of brothers that were just like always into some mess, and then it's like, okay, now we have our subject. It's like, okay, now how do we write this? It's like, okay, no, they're good. Like here's these 3 guys, like the one, it's like it's almost the movie plot of that movie with the Lawless essentially. So it's like these 3 brothers, you know, one's like the kind of the patriarch and like the real badass. Yeah. Then the youngest is kind of like the innocent bystander, and the second brother is like this methed out, like whatever,
Wild card,
hopeless. And the irony is, like, at the end of the song, he's the only one that survives.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of like, and it's just cool to just
It is fun to just like.
I remember
that.
when I sent after we wrote the song, I sent it to my dad, and he's like, "That's so wild." He's like, "Well, why did you let the middle one survive?" And I was
That's
like,
the irony, bro.
I was like, "Well, that's just the fun part. It's just like my story. It's like sometimes it doesn't have to be like the good guy
because
wins."
we're writing the script, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So,
Exactly.
I don't know. It's just cool. It's just fun to write like that.
Yeah, thank you for breaking that down, by the way,
Yeah.
because that was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
I literally sent that song to him just the other day. I'm like, we got to talk about this
Yeah.
song. So-
No,
a fun one, man.
it's just fun, and it like you sonically too create the energy around the song.
yes.
And so like it makes being in the studio really fun because it's like, okay, we're building a dynamic. There's this climax part, and then we drop it down,
Get
and
ready
then
for
it's like
the fight.
So
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that as well on that song. Is that in part inspired by so Turnpike Tornado Warning? They do the same thing where it's like they build up as the storm goes,
and then it gets crazy once the tornado. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if like there was some
Evan
kind of,
Felker is definitely like one of top 5 songwriters for me. I mean.
Yeah.
Just the kind of like, I mean, take like the song "The Bird Hunter," right? It's a song about these guys bird hunting, and like, but the activity of quail hunting ignites like these thoughts of like, I mean, we're shooting and it's reminding him of the 4th of July, and it's like, and it's all these kind, and his buddy messing with him because he's been in the city too long and he don't know how to shoot no
such
more.
cool color,
And it's like,
Yeah.
but it's not a song about hunting. It's just the activity, and it feels real. Like I can see Evan doing this or whatever, and he's been so great at doing like creating reoccurring characters.
Yeah.
In different records, like you're like, oh, here's Lori again. Like how many times is
Like, who is
she going to
this?
show up? And Chris Knight's another guy, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so like, but like Red Texas country loves Chris Knight, and he's the best to me of like.
so good.
Here's a 3-minute story. It's my story, and like if we don't only go to the chorus twice, who cares? It's my story. I'm sticking to it, and like I just love that it's his structure there, and there's no rules, and that's the cool part of making music now, because like I think now that we've started doing this, I see ourselves like getting more dangerous, so to speak, with like, well, where were we going to take this next thing?
It's like less boxed in than we've ever felt,
right?
You know,
Yeah.
And so
structure.
now you can curate a record, and now we're not just like coming in and be like, hey, I had this idea. It's like, no, everything is like very specific to like what this record's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's kind of counterintuitive, I feel like, to what like most of music is right now. It's just like, hey, drop a single, whatever. It's like, and we do that too, because you gotta stay relevant, but at the same time, we're trying to make a huge cohesive piece together to kind of like tell this narrative for this album cycle. And then
for every like for every 1090, you want to have like 2 or 3 like extremely cool, interesting songs that
Right.
are just not just a simple love song. Which
Yeah.
simple love songs are great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we love those too.
we just love making music to what the song lends, instead of like trying to make something it isn't, because sometimes it just needs to be a 2-minute thing. Let's get in and out, the story's done. But sometimes it needs to be 5 minutes, because there's this whole energy aspect of this song to
Right.
where we want to create
It's like,
this.
don't write a bridge just because you think you need to
Yeah.
write a bridge. If you
Yeah.
if you need a bridge, then you probably hadn't said something that needs to be said. You
But
know what I mean?
I think that's kind of what's lacking, and I really appreciate you saying that about the story, because like that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, but even writing songs for a record with other songs on the record in mind, to where you can flow a record with the story, with sonically in the same keys. It's like, it's just really addicting to trying to like do that. And then I think it lends itself to being like, no record's going to be the same. Like Coastal Plains, What Was Left Behind is a moment in the Muscadine story, and now the next record won't be like that.
We're excited to change the chapter. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And so it doesn't like, we don't want to be the artist that's just kind of like, oh, this is what people like from us, so this is what we're going to do. It's like, hey, some are going to miss, and that's okay, but we're artists and we want to get these ideas out here and that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about like having almost like a story that runs through an entire like record, like where you have like characters?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It-
Well, I
that'd
know
be really
Sturgill
hard,
Simpson, a Ballad of Dude and Juanita. That's what he did on that
Yeah.
that record. Something similar, but maybe not as like obviously one.
I mean, that would
leading
be
into
sick.
another.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's the time investment, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, what if you create this thing of this story and no one cares? And so it's like that's why I've kind of like taken the approach of like, okay, here's this like geo-specific circle at a 30,000 foot view I'm writing at.
Yeah.
So therefore, like a song like Way Too High can still live with Ballad of the Blanton Brothers,
Yeah.
and 1090 can live with, you know, whatever, Warehouser Land. It's like it's just kind of like creating these things, and like not every song has to be like on the nose of like, because I think that like if you execute that like Sturgill's just like an anomaly, like
Yeah.
you know like
Yeah.
not everybody can do what he can do.
It's a very concept.
Yeah,
Like,
same with like I mean,
almost every album he
Yeah.
has is like different.
but it's like I think
concept, without a doubt.
that's where you kind of like, and we tried to do that with the Coastal Plains record of like we had this like idea of like, okay, let's write about the Coastal Plains, the area, the Tri-County area that we kind of grew up knowing and where our family's from, but it's like what is like the sonic like thing that's going to bring this together, and we realized quickly it was gospel, and so like that's why we had like this like these gospel interludes
Yeah.
to like, and it was fun just to kind of be like, we did it once, I remember, and then it was like, dang, that was a cool intro to a song.
do that
Well,
again.
what if we just like, and so all these little 1 minute acapella gospel interludes, so to speak, they're like written for the song that's coming next.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, it's just like fun, and I don't know, it's just cool to do stuff that like no one else is really trying to do, just like, you know, setting yourself apart or whatever. I don't care about being the biggest. I just want like your fans to like come in and be like, hey, like this might not be my favorite record, but I can tell there was a huge time investment of this, and I can appreciate the thought and the idea.
Yeah, and I forgot what songwriter out of Nashville that it was, but he was just a songwriter, and he wrote. I know he wrote "Goodbye Earl."
It's Dennis Lindy.
Yeah, so there's the Lindy verse, like stuff like that. I think is super interesting.
It
where
is.
It's like there's characters across it, or if they're all separate, it's all about one area. Like he had the Lindy Town or whatever.
Right.
his like
Yeah.
big song.
That's almost how I feel like whenever I'm listening to your guys' records, because it's like I know there's Frisco City, I know like, you're in Monroe County.
Yep.
Like I feel like I'm in an area hearing like a bunch of like gossip about all these people,
Exactly.
and all these love stories, and it's just I don't know. It's really interesting because
That's kind of the way we wanted it to be interpreted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad I got it.
You're 100 for you, bro. You're nailing
It's cool.
it.
Like
You're nailing it.
like again that Terry Allen, he like we're going to Lubbock tomorrow, and we've never played Lubbock in the 10 years we've always, I don't know why, but we just haven't been there. But
Sorry, Lubbock.
he's got a record called Lubbock on Everything, and so they recorded it, and I really got deep into this, but like they recorded everything in Lubbock, but it was him seeing the world, and Lubbock was on everything. So like therefore like he's writing, and I was like, oh man, like I finally found the artist, like what I've been trying to do. He was here all along, and I just found it. And it's like his records are sick. He's got one called Juarez, and like the whole thing is about like him like dipping into the, like over the Mexican border, and it's like, and it's quirky, it's weird, and like I'm like, where's he going with this?
Just experimental,
and it's just like
creative, you know?
it's just really inspiring or whatever.
Another song I wanted to touch on while we're talking songs here, "One Man War."
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that song?
Yeah, that was one of those kind of that gospel, you know, the thought process, and we had that. I don't know. It was just kind of like thinking of as men, like, you know, a lot of times you're just at
The
war
inner
with
struggle.
Yeah, it's just an inner struggle, war with yourself, and I don't know. Just I remember when we sat and wrote it, it was kind of like, man, dude, this is. It just felt like a big and anthemic, and it's just kind of, I don't know, like. Just kind of in that gospel mode, I was like, man, this is cool. Like, you know, I'm in this one man war inside my mind, and like, you know, all these trials are going to come, but like we can
like
kinda get out
you'd
of
be
it.
surprised how low a man can get in his life. You know what I mean? It's like it's a good metaphor to like, hey man, like get your guns up, because there's always going to be something that's going to try to come for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that was one of those songs that the first time I heard it, I genuinely got chills when I heard that song.
Well, thanks, man.
Great song. Love
Thanks,
it.
man.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm trying not to ask too many questions about a song because I've been going on
No,
and
man,
on
we're
about
having
it.
fun. This is awesome.
What songs are? Because you mentioned like some of them are real stories and some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So which characters are about a real story and which ones aren't? Or if you can say,
I think
some of
I
them.
mean I think they're all technically, like, obviously some of these are okay, like a Shootout in Saraland is one of these ones where it's like, but it goes back to like we're actually both have Cochrane in our blood. We're not related that we know of.
It's like a real blood feud.
But there was a real blood feud. It was kind of like a Hatfield and McCoy thing in North Alabama. And so it's like, okay, how do we write this just to be like, oh, this is cool. It's just like, I don't know.
It's inspired by history.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so it's like, take a song like...
Earl Bird.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's like Earl Bird. Like that's really my uncle's name, but it's like or my grandfather's brother's name. But it's just one of those things where I was like, man, we always look at like, or take Devil Died in Dixie. That's about my grandfather killing the devil. Clearly that didn't happen, but it's like it's trying to make like people. I think when you're younger, larger than life, and so it's like, man, like. Yeah, was my uncle running moonshine and like went to prison and like all this stuff? No, but like he did have mules and he was a cool guy and that my family held him in high regards, and so it's like he's going to be the muse for this thing.
Yeah, and so, same where like Durwood, like that's my grandfather's name.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he actually was like a merchant marine. And, you know what I mean?
Goes
like,
out to sea.
Not every single second of the story is right, but it's like he did travel on the ocean, and my grandmother was like waiting it back home. It's like a real thing.
It's embellishing the truth.
So it's like your characters and places are real, but maybe what happened is a story.
Yeah, sure. Like, and sometimes it's more true than not. Like,
and maybe it's a pseudonym. That it's like, hey, like. Take like a Mary Riley. Like that's not like a real person, but like the Mary insert whatever name after that, Mary Catherine, Mary Riley, Mary. It's like in Mobile, like we were from, like the old money
Central. Bro.
It's like double name, like, and that's like old money Mobile. So it's like
rich girls.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, here's a song about a rich girl, and like, I'm clearly like shouldn't be. Her parents would hate us hanging out because we're not from the same.
Which we both
pedigree.
experienced that.
Right, and so it's like it's real because like that kind of stuff happened, but it's like let's just use someone, a name here that's not really. Really some girl that you fooled around with. It's just like, hey, it's just the idea.
Same with Weyerhaeuser Land, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same
Weyerhaeuser Land is like a massive land holdings company.
Yeah.
And like I have a lease on Weyerhaeuser Land back in Mississippi. You know what I mean? It's like they own thousands.
And like geographically, like people where we're from. And I believe y'all have some out here in Oklahoma.
Really?
But but a lot of people's hunting leases are on Weyerhaeuser Land.
Okay.
So it's like, that's just like something that was like an ode to
which also
being a Southern
like
boy.
Shout out to us, like small little tap on the back where it's like, what a weird song name that we were like, we're doing that.
Yeah. So
it's kind of funny how you shoehorned it in there too, because when you click on it, I'm sure like probably growing up where you're like, what is this song? And you click on it, I was like, oh,
dude,
wow.
It took us so long to figure out how to spell that song. Even like you can look at it like on paper and then like be like, okay, I got it, and then go to try to type it and you're like, shit, what is it?
And then like I remember it didn't come through, but there was like some talk of like the corporate Weyerhaeuser company
hiring us,
wanting us to like come and play like their end of the year party or something
like a private gig.
We were just like, all right, it didn't happen.
Been sick, man.
But it's just fun to like bring elements of like where it's strictly a song about a couple people. I mean, it's kind of like this girl moves down south. It's like, let me show you a good time around here, and it's like we'll sneak off and like this is a place where we're trespassing, and it's like we're out here on this.
Yeah, like not every song is like a super concept,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you still have to have kind of a brain break and just have a fun song every now and then. You know what I mean?
But oddly, like adding in like just a little bit of flavor of like that's something that's like, oh, that sounds like something they know that they're talking about.
And even I think it was a report, like you say chert rock.
Yeah.
Like so like I was telling him, it was like even just like these little details like that, like just like you could have just said dirt road. But you said chert rock just to add that like little bit of like sprinkle of like
just something a little different, man. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm done.
Hey, dude, no,
we can tell that you like really like songwriting, and that's cool.
No, we love talking about it, man.
Yeah.
It's our kids, man. We love our kids.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
So tomorrow you guys are headed to Cotton Fest, right?
Yeah.
First time in Lubbock, you said.
Yeah, it is.
Have you been around Will much?
We've
We've hung with him a couple times.
Yeah, we met him at a festival in was it
I can't remember which one it was, man.
what's the big country festival that's out here? Not
Born and Raised, maybe.
that was it.
Born and
I think
Raised.
that was it. Yeah.
Always been a fan of William
Yeah.
Clark Green. And then we just like me and him wrote together one time or whatever. He put out a song called Whole Lot of Lubbock. We wrote that together.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
awesome.
So, and it's kind of funny. He was like, y'all want to come sing it tomorrow? I was like, we can. We've never been to Lubbock, so like I don't know if we like. It's like
We're not
ironic.
from here.
It's like ironically we wrote a song about Lubbock and I've never even been there. But
Yeah.
it's like whatever. So
Yeah.
he went to college there, so I was like, it's pretty on the nose for him.
Yeah. We've had him on how many times?
Like 5 or 6. Probably.
We've had him on a lot.
He's a super cool.
Yeah.
dude.
We
he's
always
awesome.
cross paths with him, and it's like you want to sit down for the night? He's like, yeah, we'll wait 15 minutes here.
Yeah, he's
All
a
right.
good, he's a good dude to be in here. It's great. We're excited. We've heard the festival's awesome. So
Yeah, we were trying to get down there, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
We were hoping to be down there.
It's
for
a
the
long ways
festival.
down there from
Yeah,
us.
it is.
Yeah.
We're-
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a long way from.
Yeah, we were
Nashville.
talking about the
Yeah.
drive back. It's like 18 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been one of your guys' favorite places that you guys have played?
Not just because we're here, but Canes is one of mine.
Yeah.
Canes is pretty.
Canes is special. I mean, the Ryman's sick. We've done some cool ones, man. We're about to do Red Rocks with the Red Clay Strays. We never got to do that.
That'd be cool.
I mean, we played like when we were on the Post Malone tour. We did some.
Yeah, Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Like, did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nissan Stadium. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
all right.
Yeah.
No, there's been
As a baseball nerd, though, Fenway Park might have still edged it out for me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's special. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, it's kind of funny. It's like in the moment you're just living and you forget like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool that we did that. You kind of just like,
It's easy to like forget to soak it in. You got to remind yourself like a lot to just be like, dude, like this, we're doing this. Like this
Yeah.
is,
I like any place there's people who are willing to listen. So
Yeah.
I'm reminded of that a lot though. I like talking on the phone to my parents or whatever, and they're like, "Where y'all going this weekend?" And I'm like, I mean, we're going to Oklahoma City and we're going to here or whatever." And they're like, "That's so cool. Like, what venues y'all playing?" And like, yeah, and I catch myself being like, "Yeah, like it is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
we're playing this like really cool 2,000 cap room or whatever." And I like have to remind myself it's like you just do it so often, it becomes
Yeah.
very normal to you, and you're
Yeah.
like, you forget that selling out the Ryman is like unbelievable,
Yeah.
and playing with Post Malone is really cool, and people showing up in general is like it's unbelievable,
In a small way, I feel like we feel the same way. Like we'll get to talk to like a lot of really cool people, and then
Sure.
we'll like forget like, oh yeah, we've talked to Shane Smith,
Right?
we've talked to Red Clay. It's like
Yeah.
wow, and like we'll tell people
It's like
that,
I'm fans of these people.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's awesome.
yeah, and people ask like, who all have you had on your podcast? I was like, well. We talked to Co. We've talked to Shane Smith.
You're, like,
Red
naming
Clay.
everyone's
And-
favorite
and,
artist.
And they're like, what? They're like, yeah.
You're like, we're really cool, man.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Are you guys, speaking of people we've had on, are you guys Cross Canadian Ragweed fans?
Dude, back in the day, for sure. Like, that was one of, besides Casey Donahue Band, that was like one of the second bands I ever like ripped off a LimeWire back in the day, and probably gave my parents like a virus on the computer.
Yeah.
That's, we just had Casey on back in May also. That's,
I got a
that's
funny Casey Donahue story for you, by
Let's
the way.
have it.
So I got suspended from my high school for playing White Trash Story at a talent show. Because the part where it was like she got passed around like a bottle of Crown, and she was always good to me or whatever. Yeah, I got suspended for like 3 days for that. I got to meet Casey like years back, and I told him that, and he was like, "That's pretty cool, man." He was like, "That's pretty cool."
Did you at least place in the talent show?
Well, yeah, it was one of those weird like no winner things.
Oh.
Like, what's the point, right?
Participation?
Yeah, it's like what are we doing?
He would have won.
What's one like song that when you listen to it, you're immediately in a like very depressed mood, but you can't help but listen to it?
Enough Rope by Chris Knight.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's heavy.
Yeah.
I've got it tattooed on my arm.
Uh,
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, any Chris Knight song can
Chris
get
Knight's,
you
got,
depressed.
Chris Knight's got some sad songs.
Yeah.
But I like feeling sad listening to music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not like a sad guy. But
Crooked, Crooked Roads by him is pretty good. Or Crooked Road, that's one of my favorites. Really heavy. It's about like, it's such a good, like it's a love song at the end of the day, but like it's this guy who's like up and moving and everything he knows because his son died in the coal mines.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm doing anything to see my Janie smile. So it's like, damn the hard times, It's like, damn the hard time, damn the coal mine, damn the good things gone cold, while I'm at it, damn this crooked road, because he's coming down the mountain and he's going somewhere else. And so it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, damn, that's love right there. It's like, I'm going to pick up everything just to like help my wife out. I would say like Rustin Kelly's version of Teenage Dirtbag. Have you heard that?
No.
Shoot, he does it's that song Wheat by Wheatus. He does this like slow version, and I'm like
badass.
And it hurts. But boy, it hurts so
Dude,
good.
old violin, Johnny Paycheck, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's
So sad.
What's the Joe Nichols? I can never remember the title.
No Time to Cry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you've never heard that, go. He showed it to me. He's like, I'm going to show you the song, but we're going to be depressed afterwards. I said, all right. And I was like, wow, that's a great song, but I want to jump out of the car right now.
Those I've Loved by Eric Church. That's another one, like super dope song.
Yeah.
Dude, another one that like not many people, maybe, I don't know if they think it's sad, but Letters from Home, John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
That puts me in a spot. That last verse, dude, like talking to his dad. I'm like, oh my God.
It's fun to take people there. Like, I think that's a part of the, like, you got to go in with those songs knowing that, like, a lot of times, like, okay, this clearly is not going to be one that people are just going to jam all the time. But I think it's important as an artist to, like, have that. I would call it the late night driving song. Yeah. It's like, it's 2 a.m., it's dark outside. It's like, you don't want to party. It's like, let's get depressed here.
It's 2 a.m. and he's not
It's important as a human too, man. Like, like
exactly.
You gotta, you're meant to feel happiness. You're meant to feel sadness. Like it's important to feel them,
Yeah.
Do you guys have any, I know you're hunters. Do you have any hobbies that people might not know about? Something kind of off the wall there? Like any pottery lovers here or anything like that?
No. I'm pretty boring, man. I just golf and hunt occasionally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a fair weather hunter though. Like I'll go kill a turkey and I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then I'll go kill a deer and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like I don't have to do it all year.
Man, I don't really have.
Exactly.
I don't have any hobbies. It's more just like what I'm only passionate about a few things, and that's ironically one is songwriting. Like that's it's not even just like what's going to be our next thing. It's just like I just love songwriting and just music in general. So it is great that like I can always have the excuse of like I'm upstairs working. If my wife I'm like, oh, I'm working on this song here. Like this is like this is how we pay our bills. So it's like
Gary was definitely put on this world to write songs.
I love that, but like and then turkey hunting. But I can only do that we take off of all spring so I can turkey hunt because that's just like I think it's important to like. Dude, have our time. Yeah. Like and it doesn't hurt that it's a really good golf season or golf weather to go. Yeah. So it's like. We started doing that about 3 years ago, and
I can golf year round. So.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it was just important. I feel like for us to kind of like, I think we've given
recharge, man,
and we've given all we want to give to music. Like we love where we're at. Like we're really blessed and really fortunate to work how we work at the capacity and the pace that we want to do it. We don't tour, like we're not burning down the roads. We play about 50 shows a year.
Yeah.
It's just enough to where you're not, being like, dadgummit, I wish we were out there more.
Or a nice sweet spot.
It's enough to where it's not fiscally irresponsible.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And so it's like, and then we take the spring off and just kind of recharge, go live a little. And honestly, it helps writing to just go live. Like because when you're just like, whether it's a van, bus, it's just all music all the time. It's just like, man,
it's not a very creative atmosphere.
It isn't. And so it's like, it's just kind of nice. It's like, you never know where you're going to gather that wherever you go, that sort of thing. So, and whether it's traveling and that sort of thing, like, my wife and I we just had our first kid. Like,
congratulations.
Yeah. Like 8 weeks ago. And so like
him and his wife, not me.
Yeah. And that's, in a way, like it's kind of opened up Pandora's box because now I'm in a different part of life that I've never been in. Yeah. So it's kind of like it's kind of cool to see that. I'm anxious and excited to see like what songs like come now. You know, at a different part of life. But just like traveling and going to see stuff, it's like you never know what you're gonna gather from these places. And I don't know, it's just a great place to be. I'd rather. Yeah, Charlie and I have such a good relationship to where, I mean, we're actually like boys, like we're brothers. Yeah. And so it's like, it's really cool to like get to do this and not like we're not just playing in a band together. And like, you always hear the stories. I mean, Cross Canadian, for example. Yeah. It's like, it seems like every band breaks up, and it's like I'd love to be the one that doesn't, and it's just like whenever we
it's like it ain't that deep,
right?
You know what I mean?
And so it's just like I love doing this, and I love playing with Charlie, and at the capacity we do, and I instead of like pushing down the pedal and being like, man, let's really chase this, let's go play 200 shows a year and like get the money and like try to do whatever to be the next the biggest thing or whatever. Even if that would be on the table, because I'm not saying like I think we're the the best or whatever, but it's like I would just rather do what we do for the next 15, 20, however long we want to do it, and like
enjoy it,
and just really enjoy it. It doesn't have to be deeper than that. And
I think that's the best outlook to have, because like even when we were talking to Crossing the Right, they said they played like something like 300 shows one year.
That's I don't even know how that's possible.
They were just grinding themselves into the ground.
Like we had some years where we had zero money.
150.
150, 170, something like that. And like, I mean, that'll even get you thinking like, man,
that'll drive you nuts.
Yeah, it's just too much time.
That'll test your mental
with
fortitude.
people, especially if you got a wife at home. And so it's like it's really tough. So.
I can just see the headlines now in 2050. Muscadine Bloodline reunites for one final show.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah, it's just like, and that's the great thing about just how we've built this too, because it's been very much the red dirt circuit route of just like making a fan one at a time. Like it's like we've got to check off some milestones here in these past couple years. Like we've been playing Texas for 8-9 years, and it's like you finally sell out Billy Bob's, and it's like it wasn't like we just had a hot song and people showed up. It's like, no, dude, these people have like we've got to watch this grow. We've played that room 6 times, and it's like finally.
It's like it's not a flash in the pan. It took us 10 times to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so now that you're 10 years in, you've created this thing that's like feels like family almost, instead of just like it's very tangible. It doesn't feel like us and the fan. It's like we're just normal guys. Like
exactly.
And like we've never tried to be something we're not.
there's one thing nobody can ever say about us.
Yeah.
And they can say your music sucks. They can say whatever they want, but they can't ever say we did it wrong. That didn't do it the right way.
Yeah. And so it's like, the climb up has been slow, which hopefully for us, the climb down is just as slow. So it's like we could potentially do this for a really long time and provide for our families and have a good time doing it, and not like setting these, because I hate setting expectations of like, dude, every show's not sold out. It's like we're playing really big rooms right now. It's like it is what it is. Like you got to grow and those kind of things. But it's
that's those things you got to learn though in this business, because you'll never catch it. There's no finish line, so you got to be able to be content where you are. And just keep hoping for a little bit better.
Yeah. And we just want to make. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't know what you're about, but like our kind of goal now is like it's basically just principle. Like we like doing what we do and how we do it, and like I want to see how big we can do this like as an independent band, and then also too, it's like I just want to make a better record than the one before, and it might not be better to the listener, but it's like just knowing that we've really put our all into this, and it wasn't just like, hey, well, we've been touring a while, we need some new songs, let's
let's go pick some out, and
it's just like, man, we really want to like create these like cool narratives. And then when someone discovers Muscadine, like I discovered Terry Allen, it's like just now it's like he can come back and find that thing,
find Pandora's box,
right? And it's like, oh, dude, they had all these like cool records about these oddly specific places, and I listen to every record, and they all have like a different taste.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would say I got one final question.
Go for it, bud.
Over the last 10 years, so you guys just hit your 10-year mark, what has been your favorite memory? If you can boil it down to one.
Wow. That's tough, man.
I
mean, I feel like maybe I'll start, but it's like I think for me, playing the Grand Ole Opry was a pretty special moment in my life, because my grandfather grew up listening to Dolly Parton tapes and his Explorer, and like my mom's dad, my papa, he loved country music, and like he died when I was young, so like he never got to see us do this or whatever. But I always think about that periodically of like, man, like how cool would he have thought we were like to play the Grand Ole Opry, and like for me, like that was one of those really felt like a first bucket list moment. Like a lot more has been crossed off since then that might be cooler than that technically, but I think that was one of my first like real bucket list moments in music. You know,
I feel not to just like do just for something different, because like obviously when we think of like what's the coolest things, we always probably it's an experience like a show or something. But I'll say like when Me on You kind of had its real big moment, and it was really satisfying for us because we had like a 7-year like identity crisis of whatever. We didn't even know what Muscadine. We didn't know what the music we were putting out, and like the Teenage Dixie record at that moment was like, I felt like 7 years in, we finally discovered what Muscadine is, and that was our first intro to like, okay, this is how Muscadine should have been represented all along. It just took us a long time to find it, and it was the biggest thing that ever happened in our career. So it's very like, it's very satisfying to know it's like the thing you exactly wanted to accomplish, and like what your thing is like that's what the masses love the most. And so
it's cool to see how you were led there, you know,
right?
Like it's like, oh, we were always heading here, we just didn't know when we would get here.
And it sucks, man, because like I feel like I'm not going to take, now I shouldn't even say it sucks, because everything's, you know, happened how it was supposed to happen, but it's like a lot of times I feel like we had too many people in our ears via different teams.
For sure.
And to where it's like, man, we could have just, when we left Mobile, it was just us two.
Or we could have just not left Mobile.
Right. And it just, and it was just like, it was just this organic thing, man. And like, I think like we tried to play, like we moved to Nashville, signed a publishing deal. You got all these people being like, that's not a hit. This is, you know, whatever. And we kind of did that for a while. And it's like, man, I wish we would have just gone with our gut. And a lot of times to me, it feels like Muscadine Bloodline really started in 2022. So like sometimes to me, it doesn't feel like we've been doing this for 10 years. It feels like we've been doing this for 4 or 5. And
I think that's part of the unfortunate / fortunate like duality of man when it comes to like, well, you haven't tasted this thing over here and you really want to taste it. And not every time it tastes good. Like it's the same, grass is always greener. It's like, is it, you know, like you got to try these like things in your life and your career and your whatever. And you like, you try them and sometimes you realize that wasn't what I needed to do, but I needed to do it to realize that. It's a really weird
thing. But that was a really cool moment for me. I mean, just to kind of like seeing like where our heads were at and all of it coming to a head, and like your biggest moment was like something you were really the most proud of. And then it's like, man, after that, it was kind of like, all right, I'm not listening to anybody ever again. And it's like, we're just going to like enjoy this and do what we do.
If we like it, then we love it.
Yeah.
You know?
And so it's like, and that's made it so much easier. And I think it's made the music better because it's like, I'm not too concerned about what everybody else thinks about it. It's just like, man, this is just art. It's just like how I want it to, how we want to put it out into the world.
It's our cake, man. We can make it however we want.
Yeah, right. So that I'd say like that moment for me was probably like a big milestone. But we've had some opera.
Yeah, it's so hard not to mention. Like there's so many.
Ryman's cool, but I was just trying to just do it just like sake of just doing something a little different. Yeah, but yeah, we love I mean, like I said, it takes some good reminder, and you know, a lot of times to be like, dadgum, it is cool. Like, you got a sold out show here in Oklahoma City, and like, you know, that's not a small feat. It's like that's you know, you get, you know, you kind of taste something, and like that's the standard now, and you're just like, oh dang, you know, this show in Des Moines, you know, there was 2,000 people there, but the venue holds 2,700. Why ain't the last 700 here?
And it's like I feel like I peaked the minute we sold our first ticket outside of Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia.
Yeah,
like, I was like, damn, like we're selling tickets somewhere that's not where we're from.
So it's just a reminder to be like, dude, it's like, first off, like it's not in our control. Like it's all in the Lord's control. We're just the vessels doing what we're supposed to do, and it's all part of this grand plan that, like, you know, we don't have control over, and so we just gotta work hard and enjoy what we do, and you know, be blessed, you know, how
let it happen.
And it's just like, and when you go in with that mindset, it makes everything a whole lot simpler. You know?
I think everybody has those struggles, like with anything that you do. It's like every notch up that you go, your new standard is that.
And that's not a good place to be.
Your bar, you know, because it can be motivating. You know, it's good to like help stay motivated. I think being motivated is great.
And that's why social media sucks, because it's like, you have moments like that, and we've had a couple,
This business is nothing but highs and lows. There's no middle. You know what I mean?
And it's
all
like
highs and lows.
you put out something you're really proud of, and you're like, oh dang, like maybe it just didn't hit the algorithm or whatever, and you're just like, does anybody even care about what we do? And so it's like, but
Stop reading my thoughts.
I'm sure you guys experience similar things, like posting
Every
clips
day.
for a living, or you're like, oh, this one killed, like, let's post more of this. And then the very next day, it's like it gets 0 views or whatever. And you're like, wait, like what? And it's so confusing. It's just an emotional roller coaster. And if you strap in and ride that roller coaster, buddy, you can end up in a dark spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can end up in a one-man war.
You damn right. You damn right about that, buddy.
right, dude.
My final question here. So I know we have a lot of viewers that play in bands, or like they want to start bands, aspiring musicians, I should say. You guys being a duo together for the last 10 years, I'm sure there's been some struggles along the way, feuds between you, whatever. So what advice would you give to an upcoming musician, or somebody that wants to get into music with a buddy or with friends? They want to start a band or a duo or whatever it is. What piece of advice would you give them?
You know what? I would say a cheat code for us is like for Charlie and I'll even say that candidly, I feel like Charlie and I got closer after we started a band, because like
We did, yeah.
we had a common goal. We knew like, hey, here's a strong suit.
Like we weren't really boys.
Right. Like we were just
at first.
we just knew it's like, dude, we sing really well together. And it's like, you have an incredible voice. I like to songwrite. Let's make this happen. And it was one of those things to where like, as we grew, it's like you're spending time. It's like now he's my, clearly my best friend.
Like we're in
And
each
I'm
other's weddings.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that sort of thing. And so it's like, but to answer your question for that, like, it's dangerous getting into a business or something with your friend, because like the dynamic will change, and that's
sure.
It's just like going to like room at college with your best friend from high school, and then you go your separate ways, and like it's you have different interests, and you go here, and it's like,
And you're
dang,
growing while you're
right. It's like
going through
whatever
the thing
happened,
too,
but I would say for music specifically, one, you got to have a real like. If you can't have a plan B. It's like, if you really want to do music, it's like it has to be it, and you got to be willing to not do anything else, disregard how your parents feel about it, or a girlfriend's parents feel about it, or whatever. It's like, if you want to do this, like there's gonna be some hard struggles. There's not gonna be a lot of money, and I would say too, it's like you need to have a real come to Jesus, to where it's like, I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but it's like, are you really good at this? If it's like, because some people are chasing something that they ought not be chasing, and I'm not saying that as dude, if you have a dream, like it's hard to beat someone who won't quit, and so it's like, but it's like, I would hone your craft, and it can't just be like for the sake of just, man, I just want to be famous or whatever it is, and it's like that was never our goal. Our goal was just like, man, we just love doing this.
I want to be famous less now than I ever did.
Right. And so I don't know, like it can't just be your boys from back home and your parents saying, man, you're really good at this. It's like, read the room. It's like, and I'm not saying that to be ugly, but it's
self-awareness.
You will waste a lot of time and money and ruin relationships and that sort of thing, but I would say find what you're good at and just work on it. And if take what I'm saying is no for an answer too, because it's like, if you want to come in here and like really do this, I'd find like-minded people. It's hard to do this on an island, not having people in your life that are championing you. But also too, it's like, that was the reason why we kind of moved to Nashville, is because like there's a lot of people. Nashville's kind of like college. Like a new crop comes in. It's like it seems like come summer, like there's a
class of this.
Yeah, and it's like, and we found at the time like a really tight group of guys. One of those was like Luke Holmes. We were roommates with Riley Green, and so it's like we all kind of moved up at the same time. We were all chasing this thing, collectively but separately. And so it was nice, like knowing that, like, because some of my musician friends are the only people that I could talk to about the struggles I'm going through, because like this is so far-fetched to even my parents, and so it's like, I'm not telling you to move to Nashville, but I'm saying like find some people that are like-minded, who you want to create with, and just have the self-awareness of like, man, is this something I really need to be doing?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of some good advice. I have no idea, bro. I mean, looking back, like I had this, I certainly had like some like delusional confidence, like going into all this, like and maybe that's something that's required. Like maybe that's a good thing.
That might be the contrast to what I'm saying.
No, for sure. But like, I always did believe that, that I could make a living doing whatever I want to do, whether that's cutting grass or singing songs or pushing shopping carts. Like, I think there's a certain amount of just like, I can figure it out that a man or a woman has that not everybody has. Like, and you got to have that, like, hey, I don't know where my paycheck's coming from this week, but I'll figure it out. Like, you got to have that inside, and you got to just have a certain amount of perseverance and just, I don't know, man. There is some sort of delusional confidence that does come with it where, hey, man, Gary is right on a lot of that stuff. But if you do want to say that he's wrong, then you got to think like this. And you got to think, all right, well, I'm going to show your ass then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's it, man. Like, I always believed when me and Gary moved to town and went to the first studio we walked in, didn't have really a clue what we were doing. Besides, we knew how to sing and pick a few songs on guitar, and Gary could write pretty well. But I always thought that, we can make this. Well, we're gonna make this work. I didn't think we'd be where we're at. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be this far. But I knew we could make a living.
Yeah, and there was just no plan B. It was just like, this has to work.
Yeah, have fun telling that to your future father-in-law. Because we both did, and they were like, oh, okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hope that was good advice.
Yeah,
that's great advice.
I mean,
That's
like I
great
said,
advice.
I don't mean that to be like Debbie Downer or anything, but it's just like, take it, like I said, with a grain of salt. Like, it's
half of me wants to tell you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
in a weird way, like half of me wants to be like, I wouldn't. Like, it's seriously, it's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insanity to even reach this amount of success. It's defying so many odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on.
No,
We
thanks
really,
for having us, man.
we
Dude,
really appreciate
Thanks for the great questions.
Yeah, dude. We
Yeah.
really enjoyed this, man.
it. Yeah,
This was killer.
we try hard to cook up questions that
You did, man. We've done plenty of
yeah.
podcasts in our life where it's like just some run-of-the-mill chat GPT questions, and you're like, all right, boys, like, come on.
Yeah.
You
Great,
know?
guys.
No,
Thank
y'all
y'all for
killed
having
it.
us.
We
Thank
enjoyed
you.
the heck out of it.
Are y'all sticking around for the show?
I think so. Yep.
Heck yeah. Come
Awesome.
on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And anytime you guys are in the area, we'd love to do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
absolutely.
Anytime y'all are in the area, y'all are welcome to come out and hang
Yeah.
out.
Holler at us, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
Good.
You're welcome.